Let's move it on to the team who was sitting top of the table, Arsenal. Everybody was starting to close in on Arsenal. Were hosting Wolves. I saw this line as first plays worst in terms of the two teams in the league. Didn't quite play out like that, Rob. And at one point, it got a little bit nervy for the Arsenal. Yeah. Give us your thoughts on that one, your overview on this game. And is there any worries for Arsenal in this kind of performance?
I think there's a little bit legitimate worry, yeah. I think there is, because it felt like, Rob, didn't it? It felt like last season. 1-0. They brought all these attacking players to get more goals. Often something can happen. You concede a goal, you drop points. That happened to Arsenal so much over the last couple of seasons. So there is that. They did get the goal, which is good, but it's still, against Wolves, gosh, we've seen, Rob, a few times now, and they're so awful, really, and open at the back that you're like, how is this happening? Of course, 10 outfield players blocked up in front of the parking the bus. It's never easy. I just thought creativity is a concern, Rob, and I think, my thought on if Arsenal don't do it, and I've probably said this in a few podcasts ago, is it will probably be games where they don't create enough and they get draws instead of wins. But that, of course, that's assuming that there's other teams in the league that are going to be winning. And they need to keep winning to stay up at the top of the league. And I'm not sure that's the case. We'll get to, I think, Man City next. So creativity was an issue. About your Eze, Rob, again, and I don't know whether I'm picking on him a little bit, but I watched him again. There's moments in the game, Rob, where he switches on and I feel like he feels the importance of doing something. And he kind of steps up a level. You see him, remember him going past a couple of players on the edge of the box. I'm like,
people,
that's what you want. And the more I thought about it, I was just thinking, I think when he's at Crystal Palace, Rob, the whole team, the club, rely on Eze, right, to be that guy, to get him on the ball, to make things happen, shove it down his neck, get him the ball. Come on, we need you. At a club like Arsenal, right, I'm watching him, and he's looking around, and there's Saka on one side, there's Odegaard, or there's Rice, or there's fullbacks overlapping. The team needs him less because there's so many good players around the side. I would love to see him still feel like he's an important part of the team.
Interesting
Give me the ball, because it is needed, and I think he needs to be told, we need you to influence the game and be the star man for this team.
See, I think that's an interesting point, because I spoke to Tim about this and said, I'm with you. I love Eze as a person, the way he plays when he's on top of his game. I think it was great business. He brings a different option to Arsenal in the way of creativity. He's not the Odegaard with the technical passing, but he can drift past people and see a pass and make things happen.
He can make things happen, yeah.
But, Rob, what I would say is, my question mark with Eze is going to be, is he a consistent Big Six player? And by Big Six player, I mean, regardless of how he plays at Crystal Palace, he's going to play every week.
Yeah.
He has a great game, we're lauding him. When he has a poor game, we say, oh, Eze wasn't quite great, and he's going to play next week, and he's going to play next week, and he's going to play. When you go to the step up he's made, the money that's been bought, you have to be at a better level more often.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. My one question with Eze is, can he be at that level? Not just those one days, the North London Derby days, that he scores the hat-trick, but the days like yesterday. That's why you buy him for me, for those days. Like, 10 sitting behind the ball saying, oh, let's get into Eze, he'll make it work. He doesn't quite do enough of that for me in those moments.
Absolutely right. So we're saying the same thing, Rob. We're asking him, we're challenging his mentality. Come on, the team needs you as much as Crystal Palace needed you. And whether he feels a little, not inferior is the wrong word, but in the surroundings, in his teammates, there's quality in most areas, whether he feels like, should I really be the guy, and should I demand the ball and try things and maybe give things away a little bit? And I think he should. What's going to happen is, Rob, and I can remember throughout my career and my coaches telling me, in the middle, when you're a midfield player, if you don't make things happen, the game, it passes you by. The game goes on and you're just a spectator. And I recognize it a little bit in him that can you be more more of a personality, more like a Jack Grealish wants the ball all the time, be a bit more like that in an Arsenal dressing room that's got a lot of star players. So that, I mean, again, it's just me and you, but we're not picking on him or anything. It's just because he's got the talent to be able to do it. I think he can
see
do it.
why he was bought. I tell you where I do want to go, mate, and this guy was close to being, and I don't know whether he's been underappreciated performer of the week or not. But the kid, Bukayo Saka, and I say kid with the greatest thing, mate. I said on air, and I said to Bex, he's a 24-year-old veteran. I think he's played over 300 games now. The kid, he never stops trying. He's the one person who looked like he might make something happen. He puts 2 crosses in that have a bit of quality on one. It's an own goal from the corner with Johnson. The other's an own goal from Mascara with the ball in. He's got a drive about him, Rob. You know, he's got a little bit of what we're saying you'd want Eza to have. A little bit of that, mate. Give me the ball. Let me make something happen.
Yeah, end product, Rob. Yeah. And by the way, you know, it's not every week even for Saka, but it's probably every 2 or 3.
Yeah, he's way consistent. Yeah.
You know, so you're right. I made the same notes, Rob. The quality that he produces made a difference in this game. Another player that I just thought deserves a little mention is Piero Hincapie. Yeah. You know, the centre-back that's played in different spots, and, you know, he's into a team that demands, you know, real almost perfection defensively. I think he's done really well. I think he's done really well, and maybe it's easy coming into a good side with good defenders around him, but he's had different partners. I just thought he deserved a mention. Not going to get my underappreciated this weekend, but just like keep an eye on him. He's like just impressed. I mean, even if you're sometimes quietly effective in a team, that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do in a team like Arsenal that demands so much of you. So I just thought he deserved a mention. Victor Gyökeres, Rob, on the other side of things, again, it's still like we expect more. I think the fans would like a bit more. This is the sort of game where go and get a second goal to take the pressure off. And he has done that before, but maybe not enough times. Any more thoughts on the striker situation? Of course, Jesus came on.
Jesus comes back in. You've got Marino, who's a nice option. So, you know, I don't think it's a huge trouble. I know what you mean with Gyökeres. At times, he can look a little bit almost cumbersome, not quite at, you know, at the same speed. But, you know, he's got to get his goals. Last season, 14 draws is what stopped Arsenal winning the title. They can't afford to get in that position this season.
That's right.
But I kind of just had a thought, again, I was trying to articulate a thought, Rob, and in some respects, one of my big criticisms at times with Arsenal is like, it's almost like Arteta wants this thing of beauty. He wants a masterpiece. He wants to dominate every game and play. And some games are not going to allow it. And I'd like to think that he can get as much credit from an ugly 2 own goal victory as he can for those purring days. Because they're not going to, for 38 games, 32 of them might be great. And you've got to find 6 others that are not very pretty, but get you the points.
Well, so there's a great example in this game, and we're going to go on to talk about the next example, because that's something I wrote for the Man City game. I mean, and Saka, he did it. I mean, we all know that the biggest clubs want to have control on the ball. They want to have possession. They want to rotate it around, find the final third, and try and find a way through. But how about this? Sometimes just cross it. Sometimes just cross it. Bukayo Saka puts a lovely ball in. Jesus goes for it. It's an own goal. We might as well mention it real quick now. Man City, Rob. I watched the Man City game today against Crystal Palace. Honestly, millions of passes. And then how do they score the first goal? Was it the first goal?
Yeah, Nunes with the cross, Haaland with the header.
Somebody just crosses it in, back post, heads it down. Like sometimes just cross the ball. And maybe, and this is the point I was going to make from the City game, Rob, is that maybe with all the tiki-taka, right, with all the possession, that maybe defenders don't expect it. And when that ball comes in, like, wow, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that's what happened at Crystal Palace today, Rob. They've got 3 centre defenders, Palace, that are really, really good. There was a zillion passes from Man City, and then all of a sudden, boom, the cross goes in, and then like, they're way out of position. So maybe there's a little bit of that in it as well, that if you cross it all the time, I get that. The teams start to know you're going to do it. But no, it's just thought of the City game where sometimes just cross the ball. They got good crosses of the ball, and if you get the right cross, it's sometimes impossible to defend.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long, and for even more Premier League content from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.